Factor calculation app, enter the following number. 1. Factor calculation. 2. Is. For example, that I put the number 3. So the program will say try again. Please enter the number 1 or 2 only. So now I put the number 1. So the program asks me to enter the factor number. For example, I put the number 3. So the program say the factor of 3 will be 6, I see in here. So now I will do the factor calculation again. 1. So now I will try to put 13. So you see that you say the factor for 13 will be this number. And I put 1 again. Now I put minus 3. So the program say please enter integer number that is greater than or equal to 0 only. So that means I put the number is not integer. So I will put again about 12. So the program say the factor for the 12 will be this one. Okay. So now when I finish the factor calculation, I want to exit. I put the number 2. So now the program will ask me that do you want to exit the system? Yes or no. For instance, I put no. So the program will continue to the calculation. Put the number 2 again. And now the program asks me again, do you want to exit the system? For example, I put a yes. So now the program will stop. In this script, we are going to create the factor calculation app. To do that, first we are going to create the variable that you use in this script. So the first we are going to we will have the value n. N is mean the factor calculation number. And then what we have to do is about OPT, which is mean option to make the kind of calculation or kind of operation. Option to make the kind of operation. And the next we have the system. This one is mean that when the user finish the operation or finish the factor calculation, so the user want to exit, we use this variable to exit their program. So it means exit system when user finish operation. This. So let me just let this. So now we are going to create. So we declare the integer data type. We have n the first, and then we have OPT and exit system. And this one we give the initial value for 1. So what we are going to do the next, we are going to create the app RAM. So we are going to create the detail of the app. So we say app start like this. So when the app start, we use the while loop because we want to repeat again and again for our app. So we use while loop, sign true, like this. And in here we write n app start, like this. So inside the while loop we will write the detail of the app. So the first we are going to show message to the user that what is about this app. So I use a console dot write, and I say factor calculation app. That is, and the next will show we tell the user that to put the number. So say enter the following number. That is, and then say console. Here we say number 1. We say factor calculation, like this. And for the number 2, say is like this. So if you choose the number 1, this means that you will do vector calculation. But you choose the number 2, that means you finish and you want to cease or you want to close the application. So we choose the number 2. So when we do that, we have to use that variable to get the value from the user. So our value in here, we say all option, right? So we use this one, option opt, and it's convert dot to integer, and say const dot read, like this. And then after you get the value, you have to separate the value. So I use the switch to the switch, this one, and opt, this one. Then go here. So in here we say the kind of menu to make operation, that is. So inside here, so right in here are n, this one. I copy this one, just copy this one, put in here, and inside here we have the first case. And break where and then we have the second case. And we break. The first case we'll talk about to factor calculation. For the second we talk about is the system when user finish operation. And the next we say about the default break. This for the default we just want to tell the user, right? Tell user to enter number 1 or 2 only, like this. So this means that we have only 2 cases, number 1 and number 2, but when the user put the other number that is not number 1 and number 2, our program have to tell the user that please put the number 1 and 2 only. So now we are going to create the detail for the case number 1. For the case number 1, we will do the factor calculation, right? So to do that, we have to ask the user, right, to put the number. So we have to write in here, but we have the condition that the number must be the integer. So when the user put the number that is not integer, we will ask back the user to put again. So to that we have to use the while loop. So we say while loop in here, and we say true in this one, and use this. So, and after that we will say console dot write, and we will ask the user to put, we say enter the factor number, like this. So when we ask to put the factor number, we use the variable to get the value. So the value is n, right? So n equal convert dot to n 32, and say console dot read line, like this. So after we get the value, we have to separate the value is integer or not. So in that case, we use the if statement to do that. So if n greater than or equal 0. So the case we show, right? We show the value, so we say console dot write here, and this one, here is dollar, say n. After that is the this one n, and then is a vector and equal. Here we create a function or the method called factor like this, and we put in here for here and like this. So this one like factor, okay, and then we just enter a new line, then we press this across, and you see that we have the rate, or we have the error, right? And you see that we have the red line under the method factor in here, because we haven't created the detail of this method yet, so it will show the error like this. So we will do that after. So after we got the correct number, we have to use the break to exit the while loop, right? So we say break like this. So we say that, and so we use the else statement to, if the integer is not the integer, we tell the user to put again. So we say else this one, okay. So in here we say console.write here, and we say please in the integer number, please enter integer number that is greater than or equal to 0, like this, okay. And we enter a new line after finish this one. Okay, so now we finish for the else statement. So for the else statement, we don't use the break statement because we don't want to exit the while loop yet, and we will ask back the user to put the number that is integer. So now we complete for the case number 2. So in here, for the while loop in here, we mean that input, right? Input value, input factor number, the factor number. We say ask the user to input the factor number like this, and we just copy this one. So in here is mean that we end this one, right? Here we end this one like this. So okay, so now we are going to create right? The detail of the method factor, this one, right? So to do that, we are going to create in here outside the main method, right? So we are going to create in here. So I say static, and I use long and say factor, and in here we use for n teacher none, like this. After that, enter. So let's see. Okay, you see here, this method is now no error, or you see that no, the red line under the method name, because we already create is in here. So what to do the next, we are going to create the detail for the this method. So this method we do about the factory, right? Factor. So for the factor, we will use the if statement, and we say that if num equal 1 or num equal 0. If indicate like this, ask the program to return 1. Okay, and else we will return after, return the num and multiply factor and num minus 1, like this. So why? And in here you should know that for this statement you should know that I will come in here. You should know that the factor of 1, right? Factor 1 is equal 1, and you should know that factor 0 equal 1, right? So whatever, when the number is 1 or 0, the factor, the result calculation of the factor must be 1. So we say that when the num is equal 0 or equal number 1, that means the return number of the calculation result should be 1 only. So we use this one. And for other, you see that we will use for example, that we have the factor of 3, right? Factor of 3, you should know that is equal and 3, right, minus 1, like this. 3 minus 1, and then multiply, like this. 3 minus 2, and multiply until 3 minus 3, right? 3 minus 3. This until will be like this. So this is about the rule of the factor. So we will do like this. So in here, I mean, these are just example like this. So the formula will be like this. So after that, we are going to do, let's check out for the case number 1. So you see that the case number 1, now we have no error, so everything seems to be fine. But what we are going to do the next is about the number 2, right? So the number 2 is mean that we want to assist the system. So to do that, we have to show the message to the user. So in here I say console dot write, and in here when you want to exit the system, we want to confirm to the user that do you really want to exit, right? So I show the message, do you want to exit the system? Ask the user like this. So after that, we ask the user console write, and we say in here yes or no, like this. But in here I just don't want to enter new line, so we put like this. So after that, when you ask the user to put a value, you have to declare the variable to get the value. So we use the string because it's yes or no. So I say yes or no equal console dot read line, like this. And after that, when you get the value, you have to separate that value. That value is yes or no. So to do that, we have to use the if statement. I said yes or no equal yes, right? If it equal yes, that means we want to stop. So if we want to stop it, just use the exist, this one, change to be 0. So 0 is mean the stop. So after that, we just enter a new line. In here say new line, like this. So now we seem to be finished, but not yet. We have to do this one. So when you want to exit, you just put this one is not finished yet. So you say to the outside to create this one to exit the system. So in here we say exit the system when users finish operation. So when you want to exist, that means you want to stop the app, right? So our app is controlled by the while loop, so we have to exist the while loop. We use the break statement. So in here we just say if exist this one equal 0. This means break. To exist the while loop, we just use the break statement. Okay, so now when this one 0 is mean we exist, and you see that the first value or the initial value of the system will be 1, right? Because when we put 1, this means that we continue to operate the system. But when we change the value to be 0, this means we want to stop the program. So we use that loop on off. So now we seem to be complete for the number 2 or case 2. So the next we are going to create the default number. So the default number is mean that when the user put the number that is not number 1 or number 2, we have to tell the user to put it again. So we use console.read line in here, and we say try again, like this, try again, this one, and then we say console.write, and in here we say please enter the number, please enter the number 1 or 2 only, like this. So after that we have to enter new line, so just put select n, this. So now our program seems to be complete. Okay, let's check our program again. So we have no error, right? So let's run our program to see what will happen. So just Ctrl F5 on the keyboard. So now you see that our running result will be like this. So that you see the detail. So it's a factor calculation app and enter the following number. And the number 1 factor calculation, number 2 is this. So now I want to create do factor calculation, so I put the number 1. So say enter the factor number, for example I want to 7. So now you see that the factor of 7 will be 5040, like this. And again I want to number 1, for example 13. So you see that the factor of 13 will be this number. And if I want to insist, I will put the number 2, and the program will ask me that do you want to insist the system. If I say no, go enter, and the program will come back for the calculation. But in here I put the number 2 again, and I say yes. So the program will be insist the system.